Hello? Anybody out there? Test 1, 2. There we go. Hello. How is everybody doing? I see that that we have a few people out here tonight. Grizz, I hope you do too, but if you don't, it's okay because you can always catch the rerun. Yeah, and I think I have something for you to take home later. So, all right. Let's see who all's here. J.D. Allison, good evening. Allie, Duncan 1900, Carrie Hyatt, Maniac Grammy. Brenda? I think I said hi to Allie. Pretty Girl Nano Farm, good evening. Can you folks hear me okay? That's the first thing I want to know. Elegant Homestead. Well, we got a little bit of a special show for you here this evening. And I'm wanting to hear this a little bit better. Okay. I'm hoping that's coming through okay. Actually, I guess it was just about a week ago. Somebody that comes into a lot of our streams, and we enjoy them being here and like to call him my friend, we never met personally, had a suggestion for me. It said, hey, would you edit a video for me? No, on the Tuesday night class thing. So I thought about it, and I said, yep, we'll do that. So the way that it worked was this: they took their video and they uploaded it as unlisted files to YouTube and sent me the links so that I could go download their video to edit. So what day was it? Saturday? We got the email from? Yeah, I think it was Saturday. I got 2 emails with 24 links. I had 24 pieces of video to download. And I just real quickly, what's that? I just real quickly added up the are they still chatting, or did everybody leave? You know, apparently YouTube's having some snafus because it says nobody's here, and I can see some of you still here. Anyway, I get these 24 videos and download them, and real quickly added up the time slots on them, and it came up to roughly, I think, a little bit more than an hour of video. And I thought to myself, there is no way that I can take an hour worth of raw video and try to edit it completely on an hour-long show. So I tackled into it and pre-did a few things. But I am going to go through and show you the mindset behind it and how different parts of the video, how I edited it, what I did with it. The hard thing about this is, because I wasn't involved in the making of the video, and all I have to go on is knowing this person over the internet You know, we've chatted back and forth. We've sent emails. We've had him as a guest on our show. And it's very interesting. But I have my perceptions of how he would like to have things presented. And that person is Grizz270. So I have some raw video from Grizz270 that we're going to throw together here tonight in a form of a completed video for him to have on his channel. I'm going to make that very clear. I'm not uploading this to my channel. We're doing the playing here. I'm hoping that everybody here maybe picks up a couple tips and tricks on using Filmora, some of the different things you can do with it. It's by no means real extensive, but before we actually start with that, I do want to ask everybody in the chat, does anybody have any questions regarding the editing? Do they have any problems that they came up with, something we can address? I mean, that's the primary purpose of this, is to make sure. And if not, let me switch over to the other screen here. And so you can see I'm opening up Filmora here right now. Okay, so these are the clips that Grizz sent me. Now I decided to do a little bit of, what do I call that when I do the things for the shows? Where editorial embellishment. I did modify a picture of Grizz, as you can probably see on the screen here. I cut him out of another picture that I had, so I used this in the video. But I thought, in order to take all these clips and put something together, and he numbered them. It was absolutely wonderful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and he also labeled them. Whereas with the Kubota tractor, setting up the bandsaw and the actual cutting. And then the last few here he still has on the cutting, but that's more or less the goodbye piece of the video. Grizz made a teaser video that he has on his channel where he used video from these clips that he sent me, or maybe even stuff. Anyway, the same pieces. And I had not seen that before I started, so I looked through every one of these. And so if we just start with the beginning, and I'm going to play this here. Okay, that is a 16-second clip that Grizz sent me. I know what it is. It's obviously taking a picture of the dashboard with the glow plug light lighting up when you first turn the key on, the ignition on, and you start the tractor when that In some cases it dims out, others you just wait 10 seconds and fire it up. But I thought I could embellish this a little bit. So what I did was I took just some good old black, just took a black panel, and I took that first video clip and placed it in here. Now I'm going to stretch this out so you can see a little bit better here. If you listen very closely when I start playing this clip, you can hear the clicking in the background, but it's very dim. So I'm going to stop it here right before he starts it. And I'm going to take this section of the video and I'm going to enhance the audio. Because for my idea, I want people to be able to hear this. So I just turned it up pretty much to maximum volume. Obviously I could re-record it, get it higher, but I just turned it up here. So now it just made that part louder. Actually, let me stop. Let me go back. Because I see I didn't get the slice in it. I don't know why that was the case. But I'll just come up to right before the tractor starts and I can see the sound in the sound bars. Let me slice this here. There we go. Now I'll take this piece because I don't want the volume for when the tractor starts. That's got plenty of volume. So we'll play this again. And it's like a timer. You're sitting there waiting on it. So all I wanted to do was I wanted to increase that sound level in the beginning. Now, I don't know why, but I just decided that I'm going to take his video and I'm going to play a little bit of an intro here before I get into a beginning. So I'm going to stop in the end of this first section. And the reason I'm spreading this out is so I can see the timeline. I'm at a good place to stop here. I know there's no sound to cut into or anything like that. And I'm going to do what's called a freeze frame. Now typically you can't go right to the very end of whatever clip you have because it drops off and the timeline marker goes back. So you can see there's one frame here that I need to get rid of. So highlight it and just delete it. But what this has done,
He says that he has 14 to 15 backwards.
I think I found that. And it just leaves it silent. So during this piece right here, I'm going to bring in some music. I'm going to call it, this is where I'm going to put my opening. This is where I'm going to have some titles coming across the screen. But I still want to embellish this first clip here a lot more than what it is. So I'm going to take this first part that I've sliced, and I'm going to crop the picture. Now that little light that you see light up is not this white one here. It's up here in this dark area. So I'm going to crop into that area. Let me just play this once. That shows me where it is at. And that looks pretty good. I've got it relatively centered on the screen here. and it's just showing that glow light. So we'll say OK. And now in this second part, I'm going to go into the crop and zoom. And I'm going to go into the pan area. So I want it to start. I have to grab the start screen. I want it to start very close to the same size picture as what I had cropped it to. And then when it's finished, that's this outside one, I just want it to be full screen. So now, this part of the picture looks like this. And I'll say, well, that's okay. Let's see how close I was. I'd say it was close enough. Now I'm going to embellish the starting up of the tractor a little bit more. I go to the filters, and they have what they call shake filters. So in here, I'm gonna just grab one of these shake filters, and I'm going to place it underneath where the tractor starts. So now when we play this, it adds a lot more shake. Let's go back into the album here. And because this is where I'm going to put the titles, I want to show some of the sawmill. So in scrolling down through his various clips that he sent me, I found this 4-second clip. Is that it? That doesn't seem like it. Hold on a second. It's one of these. 16:5. Might have been this one. All right, I'm going to bring that clip and I'm going to add it to this still motion. And I'm going to go back and use that pan feature. So we'll do a crop and zoom. And we'll go into the pan and zoom. And for the start, I'm going to close in on the center here, where it says sawmill. And then for the end, I'll just have it full screen again. And I can check very quickly here if I watch on the right-hand side when I play this. And I like that, so I'm going to leave that sit. But I don't want any sound out of that. So I'll just highlight that little clip and I'm just going to mute it. Because this, I want to all be quiet. I'm going to have some sort of music playing in the background here. Now it's time to add some sort of text and credits. Something, and I'm not necessarily going to do exactly what I did do on the product, but I do want to show you what I have done here, at least ways to get you on the right track. I have a 5-second still frame here. I have a 5-second video clip here. So this is a total of 10 seconds. I stretch the title out for a total of 10 seconds. We go in and edit the title. And I am going to want this center to say Grizz270. Now I can modify the font into all different kinds, whatever I choose. We can have script fonts, or I think you get the idea here. The idea is we're making a font that fits the occasion. When you're working with titles, if you grab a hold of the square box and if you bring it about to the center, you'll see a white line come across the center, which tells you you're in the middle of the screen vertically. And horizontally, then you get a crossbar, you know you're in the center of the screen. So for the purposes of this explanation, I'm going to say, okay, we'll leave that as it is. I will play it through just to look at it. Oh, and I can see when it goes into that next section there that I need to do something different here with this, with the color on the font, because it almost disappeared in the background. When we get it here, it's very hard to see. Well, let's just see if we can fix that by putting a border around it. Black border, let's increase the size a little bit. Much easier to see. So now I'm happy with that. We'll say, okay. Let me go back to my media. I mentioned earlier that I created this picture. Well, I didn't create the picture. I modified a picture I found and cut Grizz out. You know, like a little kid with the scissors, I just cut him out. And I'm going to take that, and I'm going to make that as a picture-in-picture underneath this whole thing. I'm going to stretch it out for the whole 10 seconds. And I want this picture to resize it here some. I have it so it's sitting in the corner like this. So now when you play this, it shows him off to the side. So I have his name on it, I've got his picture on it, but I need some sort of title for the for what he's doing. So we'll go back into the text. I could use the same one, or I could grab a different text for, again, for the purposes of this discussion here this evening. I'm just going to grab this other one. It's not what I used. I'll show you here after in a little bit what I did use. But I'm going to play it in the last half of this 10 seconds. And I'm going to say working the Harbor. Did I spell that right? I's and E's get me goofed up. FR, I before E, except after C. So that's right then, it's not after a C. Okay, yeah, Harbor Freight. Let me get that centered. Oh, and I want the text to be centered. There we go. Working to Harbor Freight. Get back into advanced. Let me add another text row. And this one I'm just going to do all caps.
Country Girl said it's really fascinating to watch you do this from start to finish. It's cool seeing it all done together.
And it is bold. Doctor it up here just a little bit. And I'm going to make the sawmill, I'm going to give it a little bit of animation. I'm going to make it, I'm going to use the typewriter. And because I added this line, I do not want that to come up right at the beginning. So now let's see what this looks like. And again, for the purposes of this discussion, I'm happy with this. Let's go back and play it. Okay, so at this point I have got what, the first 30 seconds done. How long did that take me?
More than 30 seconds.
So, but I have I have a title in here now. I have a scripted title that comes up. The only thing I haven't done is add music. We'll say okay on the font thing here. I still have this issue of all of this video. So if I go back in and I see that these are not long clips. This one's 4 seconds, and this one is 5 seconds, and this one is 11 seconds. And I realize at this point we're talking in seconds instead of cutting minutes out. But in order to keep this here, I'm going to...
Grizz, can you put a step on it? This is going to take all night.
Okay, Grizz. I'm going to go into the split screen function. And we'll put this one in here. This is the longest one. I want that number 2. And this is number 3. So now what happens is when it comes out of the still mode, off the title, what I'm doing there is I'm playing 3 clips at once. And for me to do this in a live rendering thing here, I'd have to pre-render it. I would have to do that to view it in real time. But Grizz's video afforded me the ability to do a lot of that. I did that. This next video shows him traveling to go hook up his forks on the front of it. And that's, of course, what he's doing here now. So he gets the forks hooked up. Next videos in order are setting up the sawmill. Well, that again afforded me the ability to combine those videos into a split screen, which I did. That way you can see it all. When you do a split screen, you can only play sound from one of the videos or do some sort of overlay, either talking or music or something to that effect. So I did that here. I used those 3 videos together. I did the same thing here, where it's getting the motor running. And I did it again when he started cutting. So they're all multi-screen paths. Now let me, I'm hoping you're getting the idea here now. Let me open up the project that I worked on. Okay, so Grizz's hours worth of video, I actually have trimmed down to less than 15 minutes. And I want to talk a little bit more about what we have here. I know, and I believe you're in the chat here tonight, J.D. Allison, very, very talented individual. And I know that Grizz uses a lot of his music on his videos. I have seen, and we have been flagged for, people singing, what is it when there's no music behind them? A cappella? A cappella? A cappella? A cappella? Where they have actually sung a song with no music behind them, and we've been hit with a copyright. So it's absolutely no fun to put forth a lot of effort into making a video and have YouTube, or to have some super bot from some music company just flag your video and say, we're going to take all your money from it. Because that's what they do. That's exactly what they do. And some of them are a little bit nicer. They say, well, we'll share some of the money with you. So you may have a 1-minute clip out of a 20-minute video that they're going to share 50% or more of all the money that it possibly could make. It's just, so if I'm working with somebody on doing a video, I'm going to recommend you use the YouTube music library, or you have in hand purchase music that you can prove without a shadow of a doubt right away that, hey, I'm allowed to use this. So I did choose a couple songs on this. If we stretch this out, you can see this is pretty much exactly what I've done before. Here's this first clip. I've cut it. I have the volume elevated here. I have the second half here. It has the panning, crop and zoom functions. I have the shake here. I have Grizz's picture added to the still frame and the clip. I did put a transition piece in it. I have the titling down here in 2 pieces. And I have music playing up through it. We go into the let me get into a multi-core scene, which comes up here. See, I have a split screen here to show the to show 2 videos at once. And then when it gets into the cutting, I actually have 4 screens. So I'm showing 4 videos at the same time. I took 2 of his clips and I joined them together. I don't recall, I think it was 17 and 18. We'll let this refresh so it gets up on the screen. You can see how it's in the 4 different frames here. It was my feeling that the important part of the clip here, I mean, it's not a how-to. He did no explanation as to what he was doing. It's more of a visual thing. Here's this big tool that he's using, cutting this wood, making lumber, and it's noisy. So I left the noise there. I didn't dim it out. There's no music playing. This is just the background noise. In the setup, it's very quiet. You can hear the woods behind him. Nothing. So these are the all the cutting videos. The other plus thing about this, if you are creating a video, if somebody looks at this and they pause and they go, oh, what did I see on that other screen? They back it up a little bit and play it some more. Well, you just got 2 views out of one video from one person, which is kind of neat. We'll go into this area here. This is where he's getting ready to leave. And at the very end, now I have created this video. I already have it in it. If I tried to play it in this, it would not play well. The sound would be discombobulated from the audio and visual, or just would not remain synced. So let me go grab the video. And it should be here. There it is. And Okay, I've turned the volume down on that. I'm going to skip ahead some in this. I'm not going to spoil his video, but I am going to show you some other pieces of it. I think we'll pick it up about right here.
Remember, if the girls don't find you handsome like me, they can find you handy like me. And if they don't find you handy like me, just pray that they find you. Y'all come back now, yeah. Bye.
Okay, so that's the product. I hope that Grizz approves, and I'm going to upload that as an unlisted video, send him the link so he can download it and publish it if he feels it's good enough to publish. And I hope that maybe everybody in here had an opportunity to pick something up from that as far as some different things you could do with Filmora. For the most part, we utilized the zoom function, the pan function. We also utilized the split screen. We did put some filters in it. We modified the text and credit in a couple areas on the picture. We added music and adjusted the sound accordingly through various areas. If you let me get into this so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so I have music over here, and I have it split. So again, if we just play this first part,
Grizz is saying right now my internet is too slow to transfer. Can transfer tomorrow, Daryl.
yeah, and that's fine.
Listen, but I would be honored if you posted it on your channel instead.
Grizz, it's your video. I did this for you. Oh, I got the sound down. I'm sorry. So you folks really didn't hear that. One of the other things that I wanted to show you folks as another tip or trick to take home is if you are splitting music or video for that fact, but let's just grab a piece of music here. And we'll spread this out so you can see. I obviously have no idea what this is. I haven't played it or anything. I can turn the
Do you not have your screen up? Because Nate made a comment.
I can't read it.
I don't think I would do the 4 scenes at a time. Seems like a lot going on at once that you're trying to look at. I do like 2 at most. You're asking how would you do it? Yeah.
Okay, and I agree with your statement. It's a lot going on at a time. But in this particular application, because the way a sawmill works, it takes a long time to cut down a 15 or 20 foot log to cut a board off. And it's repetitive, and it's again and again and again. Now there's setup in between, I understand all that, but the actual sawing is, well, after you've seen it once or twice, it's kind of boring. That's the reason that I went with 4 pictures. And that's really the only reason I did it here. The other ones where it's multicam don't go on for that long. The very first one there, I think, is a 5 or 6 second clip where it's showing him lifting the bucket with one hand and accelerating the motor with the other hand, hitting the throttle, and then just starting to drive out. And then I meld back into an area where he's just driving down the road. But that was just kind of a primer to get this started to slice down in time. And I certainly do understand, you know, what you're saying. And I think, let me just look here. 2, 4. I think the maximum you can do here is 6 screens. That's getting really busy. But we have used this, not often, but we have used this before in some other instances. We did an interview of a local place here that has a, what do you call that sale? It's, well, when we went down and interviewed those folks that do that sale every year, that they have that whole big building just full down here on Mill Street. See, I'm not the only one that can't remember. But we did this there too because I had hours of video.
It's by donation only. It's like a big garage sale.
Yeah, it's kind of like a big garage sale. It's for senior citizens. It's a big garage sale thing. It's a donation only type thing. And they have all the size of a big department store, absolutely full of stuff that people have donated. So, like I said, I had hours of video on that. We did a multi-screen thing of that because we wanted to We want to portray that there was absolutely massive amounts of items that people were having the chance to go in and pick up for a donation, whatever you felt that it was worth. And it's just kind of a very unique thing. They do it as a fundraiser type thing. Everything's donated. And like I said, it was just massive amounts. So we did a multi-screen. And again, the reason for that was it was super busy. But that was the only way you could portray in just a very, very short amount of time just how much stuff was there, how much crap was there. All right, here's what I wanted to show you here. This works with videos. It works with pictures. It works with both things. But what's really interesting is the sound. So I have a sound clip in here. And I am going to cut the clip. Well, here, let me do this. Let me just play this. Okay, and for whatever reason, I want to stop the music right at that location. So typically what you do is you come in and you cut it. You either take this piece of the music and move it later on down or do something. I'm just going to delete it. So now I have a sound clip that stops where I told it to. But now I've come back in and in my editing, because I didn't wait until the last thing to put the sound in, I've decided to make a change up above, and I need this sound clip to be a little bit longer. Well, here's a real neat thing you can do. You just highlight that clip, grab the end of it, and pull it out. Okay, so what I'm trying to convey to you here is the original file is never ever hurt. And when you go in here and you trim it and you move things around, it's all held in memory behind the scenes. So I can come in here and obviously I can't make it longer than it was originally, but I can stretch it all the way out to its original length and not lose a thing. I can also come in and I can go the other way. And I can trim it in that fashion. Now you can do that with sound. Let me get the sound clip out of there. I can do that with okay, this is a 16-second clip. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to stop it right here. And I'm going to cut it. And I'm going to delete that last part. So now I have a clip that's only 10 seconds. I cut the last 6 seconds off. But maybe I cut a little too much off. All right, we'll just stretch it back out. if you notice, it tells you that you have added, and it tells you how much time. So I've added 3 seconds and 7 frames. So I've just kind of brought it back to life, if you would. And of course you can do the same thing. Here's who did the sound file, and you can trim it in that fashion as well. So it's just a way to go a little bit quicker. So we're coming up on an hour. Does anybody have any questions or comments? I don't care if they're negative or doesn't matter.
Grandma Rose, thank you. You just saved me lots of editing time. Howie, food formers permaculture. Daryl is good at this, Grizz. Wonder if he could, if I could get some help. So sure, just ask.
Oh yeah, all you gotta do is ask. And I always tell people in here, even if it's during the week and you're in the middle of a project or something, send me an email. I don't, obviously I'm not attached to the email, but if I see your email, I will get back with you. I will return your call. Either we can get together on the phone, we can get together on a Skype session. I'll do the best I can to give you a hand. I mean, that's what it's all about. We enjoy helping people, and I learn and pass it on, and that way you can learn and pass it on to somebody else, and it just helps everybody. Well, Food Forest Permaculture, you are more welcome. And the other thing is, if somebody else would like for me to do this with something they've created, I'm game, because I think this is maybe kind of a fun way for you folks to be in the room here and watch me take video that I'm not familiar with. I had nothing to do with filming it, and try to make something presentable out of it. I'm not doing this for me, I'm doing it for you guys. Can I fly to Florida for about a week, hon? I guess it depends on what, you know, if expenses are covered.
By yourself? No, I don't.
Well, no, obviously I would have to have you along, and expenses would have to be covered. So I'm sure we could arrange something, you know.
Yeah. And TJ Miller said, keep this up, folks, because I've not come across anyone else that's doing this live like this.
If you come up with topics you would like for me to talk about, send me an email. You know, how do I modify the text? How do I bring something else in? I think last week we did a thing where we created overlays and used green screens on creating text, which is something a little different. We have the ability to go somewhat off the wall when we're in this type of environment where I can demonstrate and we can discuss. It just makes it a lot easier than maybe trying to read it someplace and understand it. And Filmora does, they don't even know I exist. So
Yep.
we are not an affiliate. I wish we did have an affiliate thing, because I know that there's been a number of people that have gone out and purchased the program because of what we do here on Tuesday nights. And so I get the satisfaction out of that. But But if y'all want to throw something in the tip jar, that's always available. Wait a minute. Here, let me do this.
Did you know Two Family Homestead has t-shirts? Yep, t-shirts with me on them. And they start at just $24 delivered to your door in the United States. They have some long sleeves, those are $1 more. But just send an email to twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com. Tell them what size you need, and they'll get right back to you with what colors are available in your size. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Oh, and don't forget, they make great Christmas presents. Bye-bye.
Well, hey, folks. While that's cooking, I had to sneak in here and just tell you, if you've never had Thrive Life, just hop on over to thrivelife.com/twofamilyhomestead and get you some. It's doggone good. Plus, it helps the channel. Thanks.
Okay, I'm back. We got our advertisements in, so if everybody goes and buys some Thrive Life, or if everybody buys a t-shirt, that would help. Anyway, we also want to thank somebody that is in the room here tonight, TJ Miller. We received something from you. It's handed to me. Let me put this up. So, this is a bandana. This is a bandana. How do I look? Does that fit me? Does it do me justice? Fiddler on the Roof. Does Fiddler on the Roof wear a bandana? Oh. Yes, we also have something in a bottle from him. We have a genie in a bottle, but it's non-liquid. But you rub it in, I think. Or is it a sprinkle on, or is it a rub in, like for I don't know. Is that like a barbecue rub, or is that just a seasoning you sprinkle on? I tend to disagree. Okay. I had a feeling it was. All that are some ribs. So. All right. I guess if nobody else has any questions, it's a little after 9. We're going to get off of here. Pardon? That 1870's Homestead is doing their live stream right now, and we're kind of getting into their time, so we're going to get off of here. So I hope everybody picked something up tonight. That's the whole. Grizz, you're very welcome. Thank you for the opportunity to to do this. I'm not going to do all your videos for you, but once in a while it's a lot of fun. So, and if somebody else would like to do that, shoot me an email. We'll discuss it. I only charge Grizz, what was it, $300 an hour? I got 12 hours in it. Something like that. All right, everybody have a wonderful evening. And I've got some country style music here that we'll just kind of play on the way out. And this is all the YouTube freebie stuff, but we did this for Grizz's benefit tonight. So have a great week. We will see you next Monday night on Monday Night Live. Princess Prepper. We will probably also have a live stream, I'm told, on the 1st. Wonderful. That means I'm back in the game. I could buy a hotel. Well, we also have... Yeah. We'll have a cookbook giveaway this week for layman's. So, all right, folks, have a wonderful week. Take care. Glad you were here, and we will see you later.